What just happened in the NBA feels like a storyline ripped straight out of a scandal-filled drama. And somehow, it's all centered around the Los Angeles Clippers again. Warriors fans, NBA fans, sports fans in general, buckle up because this is one of the wildest stories we've seen in over a decade. And no, I'm not exaggerating. You probably remember the Donald Sterling controversy back in the day, the infamous franchise-shaking moment that forced ownership to change hands. Well, the Clippers are back in the eye of the storm, but this time, it's not about offensive comments or behavior. It's about money, a lot of it, and how they allegedly found a very shady way to spend it. Now, here's what we know so far, and again, emphasis on so far, because this story is just beginning to unfold. The Clippers are being accused of going around the NBA's salary cap rules to pay Kawhi Leonard an extra $7 million per year using what appears to be a shell company posing as a legitimate tree planting business. Yeah, you heard that right. Not a sneaker deal, not an endorsement, a tree planting company. Over the course of 4 years, Kawhi reportedly received an extra $28 million outside of his NBA salary through this arrangement, a deal that was never disclosed to the league and clearly would have violated multiple salary cap regulations. This kind of thing, it's unprecedented in the modern cap era. And I know some of you might be thinking, well, it's Steve Ballmer, the guy's a billionaire. What did you expect? And that's exactly the problem. Ballmer isn't just a billionaire. He's the billionaire among NBA owners. His net worth is in a completely different universe. We're talking about a man who could lose tens of millions of dollars a year and still not feel it. For someone like him, $7 million off the books isn't a loophole. It's pocket change. But this isn't monopoly money. We're dealing with a hard cap league, with rules designed to maintain competitive balance. Or at least, that's the idea. Let's break it down. Because if this is true, this isn't just a slap-on-the-wrist situation. Historically, this kind of thing has happened only once, and the fallout was massive. Back in the early 2000s, the Minnesota Timberwolves got caught doing something similar with Joe Smith. Their punishment? The NBA voided Smith's contract and hit the team with one of the harshest penalties in league history. 5 future first-round picks stripped. It was a turning point that set an example for what happens when a team tries to cheat the system. Now fast forward to today. We're looking at potentially an even more complex situation because unlike Minnesota, the Clippers are owned by someone with the power and resources to fight this on every legal front imaginable. Steve Ballmer isn't going to just accept the league's decision quietly. You better believe there are going to be lawyers, arbitrators, appeals, maybe even attempts to drag this into federal court if it comes to that. Ballmer has the money to stretch this out for years if necessary. And here's where things start getting murky. Let's say Kawhi's contract gets voided. That's a huge move. But even if that happens, what then? What about the draft picks? What about the precedent this sets? The Clippers have already traded away a large portion of their future picks in previous deals, particularly the ones involving Paul George. So the league's leverage is limited there. They can't take away what doesn't exist anymore. And if they do find a way to claw back compensation from the Clippers, the question becomes, what picks are even left to penalize? And here's the scariest part. This doesn't just affect the Clippers. This opens the door to a level of scrutiny the NBA hasn't seen in years. Every major contract, every under market value deal, every veteran taking less money to join a contender, all of that is now under the microscope. This is going to change how teams operate in free agency. It's going to make front offices nervous. And for teams like the Warriors, teams that have worked hard to build a culture, attract stars, and use smart cap maneuvering, this could cause ripple effects that are totally unpredictable. The NBA now has a decision to make. Adam Silver, who's often viewed as a more player-friendly, modern commissioner compared to the late David Stern, is facing a defining moment. Does he go hard and make an example out of the Clippers? Or does he try to manage this quietly to avoid more chaos? The league has pushed for parity in recent years, trying to create a structure where small market teams have just as much a shot as the big boys. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Parity doesn't make money. Super teams do. Dynasties do. Big markets with big stars drive ratings, sell jerseys, and keep the league thriving globally. And this is where we start getting into the deeper issues. Because as wild as this Kawhi situation is, it might just be a symptom of a much larger, slow-burning problem. The NBA is in a power struggle, not just between teams, but between owners. There are owners in smaller markets who want spending restrictions because they can't afford to compete with guys like Ballmer, Joe Tsai, or James Dolan. And then there are the owners of these massive market teams who are tired of being handcuffed, tired of carrying the financial burden of the entire league, and tired of losing out on talent because of artificial spending limits. That tension? It's building toward a potential lockout when the current collective bargaining agreement expires in 2029 or 2030. If the league doesn't find a better balance between spending flexibility and competitive fairness, we could be looking at a massive work stoppage, the kind that derails an entire season. And here's where Ballmer could play an even more dangerous role. Remember, for a lockout to happen, you don't need all 30 owners to agree. You need 8 wealthy, powerful owners to form a coalition and say, no, we're not signing a new CBA unless we can spend how we want. And let's be real, those 8 already exist. Ballmer, Dolan, Tsai, Lacob, Fertitta, Mickey Arison, Mark Walter, the Mavericks ownership group. These are people who could unite around a common goal. Break the cap, increase team-building freedom, and stop subsidizing smaller teams that can't compete financially. So while the NBA might be focused on this one instance of cap circumvention, the bigger picture is much more dangerous. If the league goes too soft, it sets the tone that billionaires can cheat and get away with it. If it goes too hard, it risks igniting a civil war among owners. And no matter what, the Players Association is going to be watching this like a hawk. Because if a player like Kawhi can be involved in a shady under-the-table deal, what does that mean for free agents trying to get the best value deals? What does it say about salary transparency? Now, let's pull this back to the Warriors. Because for all the drama circling around the Clippers, there's also opportunity. If, and that's still a big if, Kawhi Leonard's contract is voided and he becomes a free agent, the Warriors have to move fast. Kawhi is still one of the best two-way players in the game when healthy. He fits the Warriors' system perfectly. Defensive versatility, playoff poise, experience under pressure. Those are things that can elevate this Golden State roster to another level. Steph Curry's not getting any younger. Draymond is in the back half of his career. You bring in someone like Kawhi, and you give yourself another real shot at a title. Of course, none of this is guaranteed. Kawhi might not even be allowed to re-sign with the Clippers for a while, depending on what sanctions come down. And the Warriors, like many other teams, are dealing with their own financial challenges under the new collective bargaining rules. But still, you can't ignore the opening. You can't let a talent like Kawhi float out there if there's even a slim chance of adding him. And while we're dreaming here, just picture it. Kawhi in a Warriors jersey, playing 42 minutes of elite defense, hitting clutch buckets, giving Steph that extra breathing room he hasn't had since Kevin Durant. That's a team that's right back in championship conversations. But back to reality. The Clippers are now the face of controversy once again. And what happens next is going to shape the NBA in ways we can't fully predict yet. The investigation into this deal is going to dig deep. It's going to raise uncomfortable questions about how other teams are operating. And it's going to force Adam Silver to make one of the biggest decisions of his career as commissioner. And let's be honest, if this deal was kept hidden this long, how many others are floating out there just waiting to be exposed? The financial structures that owners are using today are far more sophisticated than they were 20 years ago. Crypto investments, tech startups, marketing shell companies, licensing deals. There's so many ways to hide money that it's almost impossible to catch without someone leaking the info or a company going bankrupt, which is what happened here. This whole situation should scare the league because it doesn't just reveal a single violation. It suggests that the system itself is vulnerable. It suggests that the salary cap isn't just restrictive, it's outdated. And unless the NBA adapts fast, the wealthiest owners are going to find more and more creative ways to go around it. Not through it, not over it, around it, quietly, illegally. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The NBA world is buzzing with anticipation as the Golden State Warriors officially announced the signing of veteran forward Al Horford, signaling what many are already calling a new era for the franchise. Rumors have been circulating for weeks about Horford's potential move, but the confirmation has ignited conversations across sports networks, fan forums, and social media platforms. Analysts speculate that the Warriors' front office has been meticulously planning this acquisition, seeking a player whose experience, leadership, and defensive versatility could serve as the missing piece in their championship puzzle. The chatter isn't just about Horford's individual accolades or his impressive career statistics, but about how his presence could fundamentally alter the team's dynamics, especially in high-pressure playoff scenarios. Observers point out that Horford's ability to stretch the floor, combined with his veteran savvy, makes him a potentially transformative figure who could mentor younger players while contributing crucial minutes on both ends of the court. The rumor mill suggests that this move was orchestrated behind the scenes with precision, with executives envisioning a roster capable of sustained dominance. Fans are already speculating about how Horford will gel with the team's star core, generating excitement and debate over rotations, starting lineups, and playoff strategies. Some insiders even hint that Horford's signing could trigger further trades or acquisitions, intensifying the intrigue surrounding the Warriors' roster construction. The conversation extends beyond the hardwood, as social media platforms are flooded with memes, highlight reels, and speculative threads predicting how Horford's veteran presence could redefine the team's championship trajectory. Al Horford's arrival in Golden State is being discussed not just in terms of individual impact, but in how it could shift the entire competitive landscape of the NBA. The Warriors, historically known for their sharp shooting, dynamic offensive schemes, and tactical adaptability, might now be adding a layer of defensive stability and positional versatility previously missing from their roster. Observers note that Horford's intelligence on the court, his ability to read plays, and his calm demeanor under pressure could alleviate some of the burdens on younger stars, allowing them to flourish in their natural roles. Rumors suggest that coaching staff and executives are envisioning multiple configurations where Horford anchors the defense while seamlessly integrating into the team's motion-heavy offense. Speculation is rampant about his minutes distribution, potential matchups in crucial playoff series, and how his experience could influence the Warriors' decision-making during high-stakes moments. Analysts are dissecting prior seasons where Horford's performance in critical playoff games demonstrated both resilience and adaptability, implying that his presence could be pivotal in moments where experience trumps raw athleticism. Some insiders even whisper that Horford's leadership could extend beyond the locker room, shaping team culture, establishing accountability, and enhancing communication among the roster. Fans are eagerly debating his potential on-court chemistry with the team's leading scorers and how that dynamic might shift defensive attention from key opponents. The excitement is compounded by speculation that Horford's signing might be part of a broader strategic plan to contend aggressively, prompting the Warriors to recalibrate their approach to matchups, rotations, and overall playoff readiness, sparking endless discussion in fan communities and sports media alike. The signing of Al Horford by the Golden State Warriors is already generating a storm of rumors about the team's championship prospects and the broader implications for the NBA. Observers suggest that Horford's veteran presence could immediately elevate the team's defense, adding a stabilizing force in pick-and-roll situations and enhancing rim protection, which has occasionally been a vulnerability in prior seasons. Sports pundits are dissecting his career-long track record, highlighting his adaptability across different offensive and defensive schemes, his ability to guard multiple positions, and his experience in playoff environments where intensity and focus are paramount. Rumors abound that internal meetings have emphasized Horford's leadership potential, not only in guiding younger stars, but in reinforcing strategic discipline, communication, and cohesion during high-pressure stretches of the season. Fan speculation is rampant about how this move might signal a deeper commitment to pursuing a title immediately, with whispers circulating that additional roster adjustments could follow to maximize the synergy between Horford and the Warriors' existing core. Social media chatter amplifies the excitement, with viral posts comparing highlight reels, debating potential starting lineups, and projecting the ways Horford's floor spacing and court vision could transform offensive sets. Analysts are speculating about defensive matchups, rotational strategies, and how his championship experience could psychologically influence opponents during critical series. The rumor mill suggests that Horford's acquisition is a calculated gamble designed to tip the balance in the Warriors' favor, prompting endless debate and anticipation across the NBA community as fans and insiders alike weigh the potential for a title run in the coming season, making it clear that the league is entering a phase where every decision will be scrutinized under the microscope of championship ambitions. Excitement surrounding Al Horford joining the Warriors continues to dominate conversation, with insiders hinting that the team is preparing for a complete strategic overhaul to fully leverage his presence. Speculation indicates that the coaching staff envisions Horford as a key piece in both offensive versatility and defensive resilience, creating matchups that could disrupt opponents' game plans while providing freedom for star scorers to operate efficiently. Analysts argue that his understanding of spacing, timing, and court vision could facilitate the Warriors' signature ball movement while offering reliable interior defense, a combination that might redefine the team's identity in this new era. Rumors suggest ongoing discussions within the organization about how Horford's leadership and mentorship could accelerate the development of emerging talents, helping them navigate high-pressure playoff scenarios while maintaining consistent performance. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.